There it is. Now I see it. That was weird. It came up late. Well, welcome in everybody to the Bears post game. Bears Bucs. The disappointment continues if you hadn't already given up hope or reached enlightenment. Chris, how are you?
Oh man, I got things. I'm processing things. Um,
That's fair. A lot of
obvious,
processing to be done with this team.
yeah. Obviously, you wanted them to win. You want to see progress and everything. Here's what I've been thinking about since the game ended, and tell me what you think. How could Justin Fields look better than last week and much worse than last week? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
I mean he's as good a place to start as any, sadly.
Yeah. I mean, the good stuff was really good. That touchdown pass to Claypool was a beautiful throw. He looked fantastic on the first drive. There were times when he got the ball, set, throw. Boom. Good. But then other times where he's like, oh my gosh, running around. And why is it one or the other? You know what I mean? Like I'm truly at a loss here. So enlighten me. I need your enlightenment, please.
The truth is because he's now bad. Sorry. The truth is no one this late into their career that looks like this figures it out. I can't think of a single historical comp. I'm dying for someone who really analyzes QBs to help me out here, and over the course of the week we'll get our usual all 22, and it's going to slam Getsy, and it's going to slam Fields, and it's going to slam Komet and the O-line. There'll be people alongside him that are a problem, but Justin does not do the things fast that need to be done fast, and then he does the things slowly that need to be done fast, and then some of the stuff that he does fast, he probably should slow down a hair, more so in the Green Bay game, but you noticed he was coming off his reads too quick to check down.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like completely lost in the pocket way too often. And the good can be really good, but it simply cannot, by volume, possibly make up for how bad the bad is. And I've been president of his fan club for 2 years here, but he's putting out dreadful tape, indecisive play, not seeing the field well, all the stuff between the ears for the position. It's all a mess. And I think mostly it's because the Bears broke him. And they definitely don't have the people in place to repair him. So I hope he turns it around. He's a great guy, and I think the Bears have really screwed him over. I do. You trot him out there for 15 games or whatever it ended up being last year with the worst roster on offense in football, basically. And he's shell-shocked now, and you change coaches. The whole thing. Just do the easy thing, guys. Sync the coach and the QB. That's not hard. You can control that. It's hard to get the right QB. It's hard to develop a QB. A lot of teams struggle with it. You know what you can control? You can control whether you jerk them around with multiple coordinators. You can control whether they line up with your overall organizational vision from the GM to the coach to the QB. And they never lined it up. We did it to Mitch. We're doing it again. That's where we start. Organizational failure, and the QB doesn't look like the guy right now. But mostly, I think it's the coaches, and I don't see how this marriage ever works. But I don't think he's playing well.
Yeah. Well, how did they break him where he seemed to overcome Nagy trying to break him 2 years ago?
Well, Nagy didn't care if he turned it over so much, right? Nagy wasn't hits.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They coached out the good positive aggression, and we actually get more turnovers anyway. I think, I don't know. I'm not in the room. I just know when we see on Sunday is terrible. And it's like when the clips were going around comparing him year 1 to year 3, just with last week's game, it was like, holy cow, he looked better under Nagy. In the Pittsburgh game, the San Francisco game, the Detroit games, all of those, he was better than now. And I mean, he can turn it around, but Chris, you know what we would kill for this stat line? Let me read you a stat line. You tell me who it is, okay? Do you know how we would react? Tell me how we would react to it, too. So guess who it is and tell me how we'd react, okay? 30 of 47 for 384 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but sacked 6 times. So this quarterback put up some serious numbers. His line stunk, and he put up some serious numbers. That was just today. You know who that was?
Who?
Making his second start, C.J. Stroud. Can't say the blocking was any good for him.
Okay. All right.
Are his coaches better? Probably. That's pretty much the lowest bar ever to clear. Second start. You want to do the other guy in that game before he got concussed?
Sure.
Was having a heck of a game to start. 56 yards in the air, 35 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he didn't play long enough because he had a concussion scare. But his first game was pretty good, too. Now, the injury concerns are real there with the scrambling types, which Justin, of course, had last year. And we didn't want him to run quite as much this year, but they've taken it completely away from him. He had 3 yards today on the ground. I agree, Shugi.
Is that the touchdown?
Negotiating the play from the coaching, too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not giving the coaches a pass. I agree. Nagy Trubisky vibes are there, too. I think I said that the other day. What's really frustrating for me in a way is I said this after the Bills game. I was like, dude, this does not look like he made any progress, which was handy for my enlightenment and my emotional journey as a Bears fan, because that was my crap week, right? And now I'm just like, yep, here we are. But, you just can't miss all the throws. Like I don't care about them not being perfectly accurate. I mean miss as in not see them or not throw it. It's just happening way too much. So whatever they're doing to coach him, he's confused.
Yeah, I think the most the one that I saw, and you pointed out to me actually during the game, was the one where Roshan, maybe Tim Jenkins tweeted about this too.
I think Jenkins tweeted it.
Roshan Johnson, yeah. Oh my gosh, running wide open up the seam, and it looked like Fields was looking right at him,
which is like what, tomorrow or Tuesday. He'll point out that this was designed to go to him. He's going to be like, they moved this guy here and they moved this guy over there, and that was designed to get him wide open. And it's going to be the play. It's not going to be like, oh, I didn't get to it because it was his fourth read. It's going to be like very much the design.
Why not just throw it then if he's open there,
Why he's such a huge concern. Because some of it's coaching and some of it's like, how can you not just throw that? Like, it can't all be coaching. A lot of it is. While we're on coaching, though, because we should never stop. I just completely refuse to shut up about this one. Russell Wilson lost today, but he's having a much better year already. Right?
Okay.
Look and his whole career has been good. Look what one horrible coach did to him last year. Now imagine that for a young player who's like confused by what they're asking him to do. And why do we keep running so many stinking screens?
And why back-to-back in the end zone?
This time it'll fool them because it's not like we just showed them the way the linemen move. I mean, it's a great play, too. Like, to be, like, going back and catch that as a lineman, it's pretty crazy. But, I never once thought we're going to win this when they had the ball with the chance to win it. I knew. You get to where you know. These coaches do not have it in them, and I grow increasingly concerned that neither does Fields. I am completely out on the coaches already. Done. They suck. They're not going to turn it around. We're going to be lucky to win 4 or 5 games at this rate. These were 2 games we were supposed to win. You're trying to get them 9? These are 2 you were supposed to win. Fields,
I don't think next week's looking too promising.
Coaches, I'm out. They haven't shown me anything, period. Terrible.
So theoretically, you might be okay with a new staff with Fields next year, maybe.
Theoretically, he's got to show me some more down the stretch. Worst case scenario. I don't want to have the QB draft conversation in week 2, but worst case scenario is they scapegoat Fields and a coordinator or 2, and they keep Flus. I would hate that.
Oh yeah, that is the worst case. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Best case that's realistic is clean slate all around. But I don't know if that's going to include the GM. Here's something for you. If the GM has 2 main roles, maybe 3. I said 2 the other day. Did we do this conversation yet? I think it was with Cousin
I don't
Nate.
think so.
Thank you. Talent evaluation.
Where is Nate? Nate, where are you?
And asset management, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And somewhere in there is like philosophy of roster building and positional value, which Nate, I'm adding that to it, having thought about it more. I don't know if that counts in talent or how it works. It's definitely an asset too. It sort of bleeds into both. I think we can give Ryan Poles a big fat C right now on talent evaluation and acquisition. Like it's a mixed bag, and that might be generous. Asset management, though, pretty good.
Yep.
None of the contracts are a burden. They got $99 million in cap coming up. They got 2 first-rounders. Ryan Pace, probably at least in the late rounds, was pretty good with talent. Terrible with free agency. Pretty bad in the first 2 rounds. Leonard Floyd was all right, but Mitch,
He ended Aaron Rodgers' career.
Cow, Adam
just
Shaheen was a second-round pick, guys. Ryan Pace is all over the place as talent goes, scouting, evaluating, and he was dreadful with his assets. So Poles is an upgrade in at least one of those categories.
Yes.
Can him too? I'm not sure I would do it yet. But I'm firing the coach into the sun ASAP, essentially. I mean, they're just going to keep losing.
Who of Poles' draft picks are you looking at like, okay, I see something there we can build with?
Wright still has a pretty decent start for a right tackle.
Yeah, I'm fine with him. True.
Yeah. But no, I'm not that impressed by his talent acquisition either. But how do you count DJ Moore? Is that a talent acquisition or an asset management? Because obviously I'm impressed with DJ Moore. It's kind of both. Stumbled into the 1 pick or planned to have the 1 pick, right? We could do this with a lot of hypotheticals. But I think because of the process of how they landed on Poles and then immediately Eberflus, Poles didn't make the hire.
Immediately.
So he's probably going to get a chance to hire his own coach. His pro scouting has been horrible. Is that what you just said, Shugi? Worst quality. Yeah, I agree. Claypool embodies that. Some of the veterans they signed last year were terrible. And they weren't – it's revisionist history to say that they signed those guys thinking they'd stink. They were resetting the resource on the cap, but they thought they'd be halfway competitive. And all of them were terrible. Patrick is still on the roster playing a lot. So he's a mixed bag. But I know Flus is terrible because they've lost 12 games that they were trying to win in a row. And he says stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah. Major Trustman vibes in that text you sent out today after the game.
Since we sort of wandered our way over to it. About the screen, he's like, well, if it's work, it's great. And if it doesn't, you get criticized. It is what it is. It's like... And then the execution one, oh, man. He's throwing the players under the bus just like last week.
Yep.
Do you have it handy?
That reminded me. Yeah, I'm just pulling it up right now. Matt Eberflus. This is Courtney Cronin, who's an excellent Twitter follow, Bears fans, if you're not already. Matt Eberflus on the Bears calling a screen pass backed up at their own 6-yard line. It's great when it works. And when it doesn't, everybody's going to criticize. So it is what it is. We're going to look at it. We'll look at it back there in that part of the field, and we'll see where it is. That reminded me a lot of the great Trustman soundbite of I heard most of it, but from what I heard, I didn't hear any of it.
Yes. Or Fox. It's all a problem. That one fits perfectly.
It's all a problem.
Yeah, the coaching, I think, is a real accountability problem this past week. I don't know that I really would have noticed it that much, or I don't remember noticing it that much last year, but this week, wow.
No,
and Bruce did it again, where he's already saying, well, the scheme was fine. We just got to execute. He did it again. Yep. At some point, the players are going to have enough of this. Like, you can't do this forever and lose, right? You got to win. I don't know. Hits, I always thought would have a short shelf life with professionals making millions. He's a high school college coach with this philosophy.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So I don't know.
I really wanted him to succeed, of course, but yeah, I want to give him a shot as the CEO type, who could really be the general watching over everything. But man, you were right. They had to hire an offensive guy to work with Fields, and we're seeing why right now. Why they needed to do that.
I mean, it's not easy to get all of this right. Again, I'm just going to go back to this. Getting the right coach is hard. A lot of teams are on the carousel all the time too, but the good organizations do it. Matt LaFleur is a heck of a coach, apparently, because they barely lost that game, and he keeps dialing up wide open guys for his inaccurate QB. You know what else he does? Just watching the red zone back and forth. He does the thing. He dials up deep shots for defensive pass interference.
Yeah,
I would love to try that. Bears are conservative to a fault all the time. And then they hire a coach who just walks right into that philosophy. Of course they're impressed by it. It's the same stupid thing they've been doing forever.
How did they find him, too? Because he was, like, LaFleur was kind of a surprise hire because his offense
he was a young
Tennessee.
A year or two earlier than people thought. But he was coming up with a tree that everybody loved, and he ran the Titans offense great for Vrabel, who's pretty hands-off.
Yeah, but the offense wasn't it was ranked pretty low, I thought. But anyway, that's not but is he from the
scheme works.
Is he from the McVay tree? Yeah. Is that where he came from?
Yeah. Here's another character. Here's another player's stat line for you.
Oh boy.
Okay, 27 of 39, 299, 2 TDs, no interceptions, 4 sacks.
Is that Jordan Love?
Sam Howell.
Oh, of course. Sam Howell, yeah.
Again, we would kill for Justin Fields to have that stat line.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't play the same sport. We did that one series.
Well,
2 series. It was actually 2.
Yeah, it was. Hey, Shugo's saying he's from the Shanahan tree, I think.
Maybe it's Shanahan.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, because he was in Washington for a while with his brother back in the day when he was like getting started. That's right. Yep. Shanahan, it's all the same. Just kidding. Hey, by the way, shout out to the Enlightenment take. I told you Shanahan beats McVay 9 in a row. That sounds familiar. 9 in a row against your rival.
Yeah. There's something familiar about that, unfortunately.
So, other things from the game before we look ahead for a second. Defense? You got anything you want to say about the defense? I mean, still pretty bad. Played better in the second half.
Is the game different if Brisker holds on to that gift interception at the beginning?
Maybe, but for a guy who runs his mouth, I'd sure like to see him start playing better. I'm tired of everybody being like, oh, he's really good. Yeah, okay, he had a good game against the Patriots. I'm still waiting for him to play like consecutive games in a row without coming out for any injury or illness or whatever, and dropping that interception hurt pretty bad.
Yep. Oh, and yes, third down defense.
It's
atrocious. It's still – you just know they're going to – convert it every time, pretty much. Although it did get better second half, I guess. But still,
I'm not gonna throw bouquets at the defense.
Yeah.
Because they were still pretty bad most of the game, but they were not the problem by the second half. By midway through the second half, because they still gave up the wide open drive at the beginning, basically.
Yes.
But I mean, they gave up 14 second half points, which is misleading because of the pick 6.
Yeah.
So really, the defense eventually kind of did its job. But here's another stat line for you. 26 of 34 for 317. That's 9.3 average and a touchdown.
Oh, no.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay. Whew.
I think he was 11 of 12 on third down.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah,
dude,
Mike Evans.
He was finding Mike Evans when he was half tackled. Yeah, he could trip, exactly.
That is another thing about this defense. Not only can they get guys down on first contact, but there's always yardage after they're hit that they're dragging our defenders.
Whoever the safety was trying to make that tackle on the sideline to Evans on the huge run after catch, he just shoulder bops him. I'm like, what kind of peewee bullcrap is that? Wrap up.
I know.
Fundamentals. So yeah, when Eberflus talks technique, he's right on that play. Okay, well, why do they not use technique, coach?
Yep.
Painful. And also the broadcast being like, Baker Mayfield is super strong. I'm like, he is?
No.
Compared to you and I guess.
Yeah. He's never been known for that.
Baker Mayfield.
Well, that was Moose. He took a lot of hits blocking for Emmett. So
Yeah, I think it was pick 2, but I didn't catch it perfectly. And even in the replay, I couldn't quite see it. I need the all 22 for the play where he doesn't make the tackle. I mean, they're down like a bunch of guys in the secondary. I get that, but we kept talking about the secondary being the strength, and they
thought it would be
guys wide open.
Yeah, and is it me or were they better once Eddie Jackson was out?
Well, Eddie's done probably. Like being a star, right? Like I don't know that he ever recovered from the previous injury. Buddy Bryan.
Buddy Bryan. That's Buddy Bryan.
Oh, so he's like a pro wrestler. He's greased up out there. Baker would do that. I feel like he and Johnny Manziel are the most likely to have a WWE career after football.
Yeah, it's Manziel especially. I could see that.
Yeah. So, Edmonds had a good game. Was it 16 total, 8 solo tackles? Look, that's good. He's paid to do that. I mean, that's better than the game one. Like, he looked like he was ready this time. But if my linebacker's doing that much work, you probably have a problem.
Yeah, the line's doing nothing. The line is doing nothing.
I mean, it's not as bad as the safety leading you in sacks.
It's pretty terrible, too,
Yeah. And I don't think that'll happen this year because they are generating a little pressure. Rasheem Green had a couple pressures.
And a field goal block.
Yeah. And they didn't capitalize on that at all. And I thought that pretty much killed them in the first half. That was the end of that. That was beat down until the end of the half after that debacle of a possession after. But, so the defense kind of hit or miss, better than versus Green Bay, but not really any good. But this still is about the coaching and the quarterback. Like everything else is just like minor details. Until you have the coach and QB good, you're just not a contender.
Yeah.
And they have done something that makes Justin worse so far. And he has done something to play worse. I don't know. I'm not trying to give him a pass either.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just too many plays where the ball doesn't come out.
Yep. Yeah. You can see it on Twitter. People are rooting for him. Come on, kid, throw it. Let it fly, Justin. And it's.
I think the whole pulse of the Bears Nation, at least the one I can see on Twitter and friends texting, is something like, gosh, we still love Justin, but we are rapidly losing hope that he will be the answer.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. If the Bears have never fired a coach midseason, is that in play this year with a new president?
I don't know. Warren's
shut up, Brian.
All this, right?
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? I bet the ball would come out quicker. It might go who knows where on some of them. But, I don't think he's going to stand there and hold it as long. I bet that would be different. But, Warren is the wild card because business as usual maybe hopefully won't apply anymore.
Right. That's why I say that. Is that maybe in play now?
Yeah, maybe.
If they start the year like 1-7, 1-8, I mean, Poles is going to start to protect his own backside, isn't he? Like, hey, I got these players.
He thinks he's added a good bit of talent.
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks this is a 4 or 5 win team, which is my suggestion as we sit here after 2 games that they were supposed to at least be 1-1 after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like 1-1. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
While we're on that, go ahead and look at the schedule with me here.
Oh boy.
Let's just both put it in the Google machine.
Okay.
How many games? Weigh in, chat. How many games are the Bears going to be favored the rest of the way?
Brian's already rooting for chaos.
He is. The Chiefs game is going to be a blood.
I don't blame you, man.
We're gonna be their good get right game.
Yeah.
We are. Okay, so Chiefs, of course not.
Broncos
at Bears. Are we favored in that game?
If we weren't favored today, probably not.
Probably not.
Now with Russell Wilson better. Maybe.
Probably no. I'm going to go no and a maybe. Bears at Vikings?
Nope.
No. Raiders at Bears?
Probably not.
No. They've been competitive. Bears at Chargers? They're not getting favored in a single road game. We can just go ahead and cross all those off. Panthers at Bears?
Yes, probably. Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if...
That's the only one I got. Is that a Monday night? That's a night game. What poor broadcast team are we exposing to this crap on Monday night for the nation to see?
That's going to be the game where Bryce Young, it starts clicking, isn't it?
No, that's a Thursday. Al Michaels is gonna be so
Michaels
mad.
gets that. Here we are in Chicago.
Okay, so we said what are the road games? Lions, no. Cardinals at Bears, maybe.
Yes.
That's your other one. Falcons at Bears, no. Bears at Packers, no. Okay, so that means how many games are we gonna win now? Like if you went back to that thought of trying to predict it. Like early third quarter. You know what? You asked everybody to join the live stream. This is your fault.
It's fine. I love it.
He's just
I
mad
love
at me
it.
for getting Anthony Richardson concussed.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many?
Yeah, the Bears Panthers can be like, no, you win. No, you win. No, you win. I originally thought 9. Take these 2 off. That's 7. And then I'm going to take 2 more off because they've just looked incomplete. I'll put it that way. So I'm going 5.
A 5 is reasonable. I think it could be worse, but 5 is maybe the right amount. I just don't know what the 5 are. Like Panthers, Cardinals, you got both those, you get to 2. Steal a couple more, and you're only at 4.
They're still going to
3 games and then 4 games and then keep the coaches. Like, come on.
It won't happen. I am confident that will not happen. I'm confident that will not.
Let's put it this way. This is the thing. They're not going to win a game if this is the third down defense and the play calling and the QB that we get. Some of that has to improve, or they're not beating anybody. I think some of it will. Like, there'll be games where it's just better. But the bottom line is the bar was mediocrity and, like, maybe play a meaningful December game in there somewhere. And I don't think we're hitting that after 2 weeks. And I don't think it's just overreacting. They just looked that bad.
It's reacting.
Fair.
What we've seen.
I'm just not going to pretend. I'm going to call it like I see it.
Well, I think this year is still going to be about, all right, Fields, are you the guy or not? I think that's going to continue to be.
Did they overdo our desire to see him throw it? Like, throw it more than last year. But we can also still run it with him some. Like, I feel like they just totally have scrapped that.
I think he's not doing it too. There was one play where that's Mrs. Meatball, by the way. Just,
Mrs. Meatball.
Hello, Mrs. Meatball. There was one play where he threw it and he stopped, but he reset real quick, and you thought, okay, he's gonna run, but he didn't, and then he ended up getting sacked. Maybe was that the one he tried to squeeze up the middle and got?
Yeah, that's another thing. There's too many plays where he thinks he's got like this lane that he doesn't have, and I'm like, just throw it away.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but it's tricky because if we're like, get rid of it, then we don't ever get the big explosive runs. But it's frustrating watching it when you're not getting the explosive runs and you're getting the unnecessary hits and their sacks. Right? It's like a perfect storm of terrible right now. And he said that. He's like, we're going through a storm right now. He's like the only person, once again, to be accountable.
He said that today?
Stands in front of the media. Now, Jalen Johnson met with somebody one-on-one at like a locker or something. And he talked about how irritating all this gets. He's awesome. He's so honest. By the way, can we extend him? Let's not make another hole on the roster. He's fine. He's worth keeping. He's also awesome with the media, which is kind of nice.
He is. Yeah.
I'm trying to find his quote. I think it was Courtney Cronin, maybe.
Even though he gave up TD, and I'm not sure it was his fault, I'm liking what Tyreek Stevenson is showing as a rookie. I'm cool.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's going to be highs and lows there. Just like with Wright, there'll be some.
But I don't think that touchdown was on him. It looked like classic cover 2. He was supposed to pass him off to the safety, and the safety was not there. I'm just speculating, though. But
for a team that runs this zone a lot, they really don't run it very well.
No. What? I get it. I don't get it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Where Shulgi says the first designed run made me scream. Yeah, where they do the design run and it's like a little toss to Herbert, I think it was, a little pitch. And it was like the most obvious play ever.
More obvious than 2-3 screens in the end zone. as soon as that punt was pinned inside the 10, I was like, that's it.
Top. I can't. That's just so Bears. That's what I mean, man. Like, this is what they do. Like, why would you ever do it 3 times in a row?
Yep.
Right, it was a penalty, and then the pick, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Brian nailed it. We're bad at running a bad scheme.
On both sides of the ball.
That's so true. That's so true.
You know what's like going to be like play that haunts me forever about this season if I get back to actually caring or whatever? The very first real test where they do the Komet QB sneak and then the field QB sneak.
Yeah,
it's like, what's the tight end doing it for? Have you guys watched Philadelphia? Do you not see the same body type in your quarterback? Why are we not just pushing him?
I don't know.
Like, and then we see the stupid stuff this week. It's like, well, yeah, of course, these are the guys who ran the Komet as a QB sneak. Mm. Yes, he was for sure calling the plays. Flus was Shugo, sorry. Shulgi, famous Sumerian king that I just taught about the other day, so I keep saying it accidentally.
Ooh, nice. So, an idea I was getting back to, or I'd like back. Let's say Flus doesn't last through the season. It's a new day with the new president who says, you know what, it's not working. Would you promote Getsy to interim coach?
No.
For the rest of the way. Okay.
They don't have anyone worth promoting.
So they probably don't fire him.
Problems with firing him. Yeah. Did you see where I saw somebody said, I was trying to find this in the actual quote form, so apologies if it's actually Twitter nonsense, but where Flus didn't actually commit to Getsy play calling next week. They're like, is Getsy going to call plays, and he didn't actually commit to it.
Whoa.
So, personal reasons incoming.
Whoa, well, that's that's fascinating. He said that today.
I saw a tweet about it. I couldn't find confirmation. So,
well, who then? QB coach? Who is the QB? I don't even know who the QB coach is.
Andrew Janoko, who's also bad at his job. Hey, that reminds me, we didn't talk about this enough. I saw a Reddit post about this. It was really fascinating how inexperienced as a whole almost all the position coaches are, except for like Hoke and Chris Morgan. And it's like, and the point was, you have really bad, inexperienced position coaches, you get players not knowing where to go and what to do. And having coached at the high school level, which of course has 1,000 differences, but one of the similarities is the position coach is the one that spends all the time with them.
Yeah.
You review the film with them, you're in the meetings with them, you're on the field for all the early part of practice, like the first half of it. It's just you and the players way more than any other coach, of course. And I was like, man, if that doesn't also sort of explain some of this. How many times today did we see receivers not know where to go or end up like in a route tree that makes no sense?
The same play, and then too many. There was one play where I'm confident it was supposed to go to Moore, but somehow Matt ended up right in front of it and was like, whoa!
What is wrong with Komet this year? I thought we fixed him last year. I thought we were okay and we're good to go, and we all liked the extension. That's
and even when he catches
Shugo points out, he's actually one with some experience. So it doesn't work perfectly, but you do have to wonder if they're getting what they pay for with inexperience as a whole. Because you got Getsy never doing it, Alan Williams doing it once for a 3-13 team, and now not doing it? What's up there? Still don't know. Wow. Also, shout out to Nate Davis and/or pseudo apology.
Yes. Yeah.
So football is well there, and you're able to get back soon, sir. But they still haven't told us what's up with Alan Williams, which is, it's the person involved's decision, not the team. So everybody like killing him for that on Twitter is a little out of line. But I do think the Bears can do a better job of just saying, like, we believe in Nate Davis, we believe in Alan Williams, whatever. They are dealing with a family matter or something. Instead of just leaving it completely in the dark, they could make a statement backing them up a little bit. But they can't be like, oh yeah, his dad died, right? If they don't want the news to be out there.
Oh.
So next week, the Chiefs.
Yeah, we're gonna do our post game for that show right now because we're both.
I have made a decision that I encourage all listeners to implement in their own lives. If you have something else going on or a potential for some social thing, don't blow that off for this football team. So we have small group at 5:30. That means I'll watch basically the first half, and then I am out. It'll probably be 20-3 or something. So no real reason to do the post game. But Chris had an idea for the post game.
Yes.
So this is next week's post game right here.
Starting right now, week 3 post game. Welcome to Barely Educated Post Game. The Chiefs beat the Bears, and the Bears look bad. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
When we preview the Broncos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. So we'll do a show next week. And I really like, Mark, your new segment of the After Further Review. I think that is a great thing we can spend time on. So,
yeah.
If nothing else, we'll put some good time into that.
It's more worthwhile than ranting about another bad game to kind of see what the film shows and so forth.
Yeah. Now watch the Bears lose next week, but they put together their best game yet. Wouldn't that just be like?
You're gonna have to record by yourself just to correct that one statement.
That's right.
You're gonna be like, upon further review, yeah, they didn't look as bad.
No.
Save it for the Broncos preview. All right, take us out of here.
All right, thanks everyone for watching and listening. This is fun. It's cathartic. Use that we're talking about post-Bears games experiences. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Jump in on our Twitter at @barely_educated, our website if you want to join our honor roll, and we'll send you a T-shirt. Is buymeacoffee.com/barely_educated. And we'll talk to you more next week. And Bears are down. Good night.